to the program. With me, your host, Carol Onyakujga, where today is totally exciting. We are working in collaboration with Dream Blazers Academy. Obviously, this is an academy, a business-based academy that is based in the United Kingdom. And if you've never heard of Fungai and Demira, well, today is a great opportunity for you to get to meet this fantastic lady. And of course, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Fungai is a guest that I totally love having on the program. She comes to me, and when I listen to her, I get inspired myself. So I tell you, if you're making tea, coffee, whatever that you're doing, get yourself ready, because this is a moment that you don't want to be missing. And of course, if you are joining me, my name is Carol Nyakuja, and this is Candid Talk with Carol, where we're working in collaboration with Dream Blazers Academy right here on the Diaspora Urgent Question. I'm honored that I know her in a different way, but that's the reason that I've got her again on the show. But I want to introduce you to Fungai Demira if you've never come across her, and get to know what she does. Now, Fungai is a successful entrepreneur. She runs a thriving business. And it really, it's not just the one business that she does. She's got a business enterprise which spans across the United Kingdom and India and in Zimbabwe. So that's across 3 continents that Fungai works. And your sole purpose and what you believe in is serving a higher purpose and helping others. And really, even over the years, this has shown that this has been the heartbeat of what you do. And this is really the heartbeat. It's the core of who you are as a human being, isn't it, really? And so Fungai was born and raised in Zimbabwe, which is obviously in Africa, for those of you that have no idea where this is. And Fungai trained as a nurse before setting off to the United Kingdom, where she would launch and run a business with her husband that would change thousands of lives. And I know, Fungai, in your biography you say including your own, but I suppose that's including mine and including a lot of other people. So thank you for the honor of coming on to the program today. Ladies and gentlemen, Fungai Demira.
Thank you for having me, Caroline. You know, it's always a joy to make time to have conversations. And hopefully our conversations, they can change even one girl or one boy's life. And that's what life is about, isn't it? Impacting others for the better. So it's an honor.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Fungai. And so have you always been a person about impact? Is this what you've always done, or is it something that essentially, how did you come to learn about it? Were you just born this magnificent ball of impact? How did it start? Where's the origins of all of this?
You know, life is a journey, right?
Yeah.
And I think when we are young, we have got these dreams. And I think as we grow ourselves, I think those dreams, what's the right English word? English is my second language.
Oh, you don't have to do it. We could always find an interpreter.
The dreams, they evolve.
Yes.
Right? So I suppose as I've been going on my journey, going past, reached my first dream and my second dream and my third dream, and realized that actually the bigger picture God is interested in us doing is to impact others for the better. And as we do that, we change the world one person at a time. And I think the ultimate goal is to transform and change the world if we can impact the next person. But that happens as a process. So I think for me, it's been a journey. It's through the struggles and the triumphs that you realize that actually in this life there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture.
Yeah. And I mean, sitting there and listening to you, you're talking about, in life there's a bigger picture and the impact and what you introduce as well is something which is quite unique in the sense that you introduce the aspect of God and the God aspect. And maybe that's something that we can talk about sort of at a later stage. Is that always been something that's important for you?
So when I look back, Caroline, it's actually emotional, because you realize that in this life, some of us, myself included, would have been born as statistics. Those people that we don't count, that we don't think anything good is going to come out of them. Well, I'm one of those people. You understand? So when you come from that place, and then I feel like God literally handpicked me. And when I look back, it really was a light bulb moment. Why me? Because there's nothing special. And that's when you realize, that's when I think the transformation happens, when you start to change the way you think. Because where I come from, Caroline, I come from Remoka Kadoma in Zimbabwe, one of the small towns where I've just recently been back, and people are you know, on drugs, you know, factories are not functioning anymore. There are no jobs. But then God picks you from that place, and then He places you into a place where you can have a thriving business in a different land, in a different continent. You do well, and that to me really it really struck me one day when I thought about it, and I thought there must be something. There must be a bigger picture, because honestly, it can't just be about this. Coming from a poor family where, you know, you are born in a family of 8 with absent father and mom is struggling, family is struggling. Everything is a struggle. You are a rejected child. It's the picture at the beginning. There's nothing to look forward. There's nothing to look forward, Caroline. So you asked me the question, why I think and talk about impact, because I am a product of all these changes, and I've seen the difference we can make when we've been chosen and separated. We are the people who can go back. I can go back to my friend and try and pull it back and give her hope. What else can we do to impact those people? So when I talk about that, it is very personal. And coming back to your next question about the rejection and the migration. So I think us here in diaspora, when we look at migration, we think we are the first people to migrate. My granddad, my mom's dad, left South Africa. They are originally from Polokwane in SA, and they left South Africa looking for work, for greener pastures.
Oh, okay.
That's how my granddad ended up in Zimbabwe in Masvingo. And then he ended up working in a farm, a white person's farm. And my mom and his siblings are born there. You understand? So that's migration in its own sense, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's first generation.
Yeah, definitely.
So we then are the product of first generation migrants who've had their kids in Zimbabwe. But my mom marries a local Zimbabwean, as a Zulu. You get me? My mom is not accepted in this Mazezulu family because she is South African, but meantime, she is born and bred in Zimbabwe. So you see how these issues are coming. My mom then had us as kids. And when I was, personally, my story, when I am born, they are expecting a boy child. So my grandparents from my dad's side, they say, no, we are not having this child here. My mom tells me then I was hidden, I don't know, in the bush for some days. Honestly, I can laugh about it, but this is real rejection. So these our issues, they start back then. Rejected as a pregnancy, rejected as a baby, and when then they decide that, they even argue and fight about my name. I have got a copy of my birth certificate, and the name Fungai is not on my birth certificate.
Oh.
Because they wanted to name me Rangarirai. Meaning they wanted to remember. My mom should never forget, and she must remember the incident of her getting married to this Mazezulu situation. You understand?
Wow, that's where your name comes from.
Exactly. Words.
Definitely. So those kind of, what kind of words were spoken, and how did those words impact your mindset and how you thought and how you perceived yourself in terms of the kind of person that you could become?
So like I'm saying, I try and reflect and think, did the people who were saying these things, did they really know what it meant? Because half the time, Caroline, it's very easy to say your sister or your brother let's take for a girl's child. She gets pregnant and nobody is knowing, she's not married. So this in our African culture, this was a no-go area. So this is what happens to my mom. And my mom has already had many other kids already. And then she's again getting pregnant with another guy, but this guy has already got many women and many kids. You understand? So by the time she has us, my dad is irresponsible. So I suppose when I put it in context to my mom's siblings and family, or to my dad's side, these are two irresponsible people taking irresponsible action but lives are being created. Yeah. So when I look back, the words, for me now, I try and make sense from an adult point of view. But when we were kids, we don't know no different. We don't know what's going on with the adults. So when they mentioned derogative language, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Naming people that,
You're such
and such, or you are this, or you are doing this. But as kids, we are listening. Like I'm saying though, but for me, somehow going to church was an escape from all that. Because when I went to church, I would be affirmed in a different way. You understand?
Okay.
So when I go to church...
So a sense of identity then.
Yes. So somehow I would take what I was being told at church, that you are a child of God. You are loved by God. God has got a good plan to prosper you and to do well, and you're going to do well. And so those affirmations, when I go home and whatever is happening around me, they would protect me throughout the week at school or whatever. So I can't emphasize enough. For me, that was the magic. I really think that was the magic. Those Sunday school teachers, they played an amazing role, because at home, it was chaos.
So Fungai, once again, the issue of impact, and how does that work in terms of, what is it about? What is it, the issue of mindset? Sorry, not so much impact, the issue of mindset. You might want to elaborate on that a little bit. Yeah,
so I suppose having you growing up and having your life being shaped by all these experiences, right?
Yeah.
They are living footprints in your little head. So if there is no space or someone allowing the positive to grow, it's most likely that you are going to struggle in your adult life, because...
So like a product of your environment.
You're a product of your environment, and your society shapes you, your family, the people around you, and everybody, and your experiences and what you see. That's what impacts you. So if you don't see a light, or you don't have a better picture, it's most likely that whatever you went through is going to impact you in your adult life. That's where the mindset shift comes in. Because for you now to have an opportunity to think differently is when you know that there is an option, there's something different, right?
So what's this mindset thing? What's that about?
Mindset is about changing the way we think,
right,
so that we can have the outcomes, or we can achieve those exact things that God has meant for us when He was creating us. Because that picture that He says, I've got good plans for you, I believe He certainly does, right? But when we are brought into the world and we get here and we are stifled and affected by our society and everything else, our minds, the way they are shaped and the way they are going to grow and develop, is only going to be about that which you're experiencing.
Right.
So, because of that, you have got to consciously take a decision and say, right, I need to change the way I think. I need to change the way I operate.
Right.
It's like changing your operating system.
Okay, so like system reset.
System reset.
Okay.
So...
And so do you get to that place, do you get to a place where you're consciously thinking about, I've got to reset my system? Or does it just kind of happen like, your system's crashed and then you start again? Or how does that work? If someone's here and they're listening today and they're thinking, okay, I might be interested in this mindset thing, and perhaps this person's not even someone that is spiritual or into the whole God aspect. Does it only work for people that are that have the same view? Is that a prerequisite that somebody has to have a God mindset in order that they can change their own mindset?
Actually not. It's not about God, but it's about understanding that you as a human being, you're a spiritual being. And it's about developing your spirit and challenging your mind to think differently to achieve the things that you are meant to achieve. So how do you do that? The beauty of it nowadays, we have got access to information, we've got access to books, we've got access to people. So if there are those people who inspire you and you like what they do, or you would like to be what they have been and even do better, or you dream, you've got a bigger dream towards something, I would encourage that person watching to say, study that person's life and understand, and then emulate and learn from it. So looking at the way, changing the way we think.
I think I would. So if you don't mind, I'll just interrupt you. In terms of emulating from someone and learning from them, what's the big difference? Is it the same as duplicating their life?
No.
You know what I mean? No. I asked that question in the sense that, someone might be sitting there and think, oh, okay, right. Fungai has moved from this to this, and actually, so I can be just like Fungai and wear my beautiful dress the way that Fungai is wearing it, have my hair in exactly the same way. Is it the same as duplicating, or what is it that one has to be conscious of there?
So one is to be conscious of self and purpose. I'm gonna bring you back when the creator, whoever is creating you, if you don't believe in God, is making you, he has a purpose. You have a purpose on this planet Earth.
So a reason
why you're here. There's a reason why you are here. Mm-hmm. So you've got to really search within and find that reason, because that is the thing that can help you grow and develop towards becoming fully who you're meant to be, right? So it's about coming back into yourself and thinking, okay, who am I? What do I want? Why am I here? I suppose asking yourself those questions is going to start drawing you towards those things that are about you, who you are, that about why you are here, that are about where you need to go. Yeah. So it's not about coping, but you need inspiration.
Absolutely.
So when I was growing up, I'll give you an example. There were some inspiring individuals in my life. There was an auntie who used to inspire me because she used to travel the world, and I really used to think, I want to be like her. I'm not going to get married. I'm just going to travel the world.
Yeah.
So then she became my inspiration. So when I was dreaming and thinking about life, I just could see myself becoming like her. And that's where we come in with this impact situation. Our kids are missing out on role models. And so for me, I believe that every single one of us are role models, because our little ones are looking for role models to look up to, so they can dream, so they can see, so they can be inspired, even though their environment and their setup doesn't have anything inspiring. But maybe if they see somebody who looks like them, somebody who comes from where they're coming from, they can connect with that.
And they can identify.
Be inspired, and they can identify with it. You understand? So that's where that person can be supported and helped and have that dream, something to work towards.
Wow. My father always used to say something really important that has taken me through my life. And the one thing that he always said to me was, you could either be the one that is telling the story of somebody that you grew up with, or you could be the story. And I guess that's the thought that I'll be leaving you with. Until we come back on the program, I'm Karen Yakujina. Join us on the next episode.